Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a 2-for-1 box. You get 2 of these out of each sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. The box measures 1 3/4 by 2.5 by 1. Opens like this, and inside I have a LINDT mini snowman. I got them at Walmart. Unfortunately, one smashed, so I had to eat it, but it comes in 5 for $5, so they're about $1 each. All right, so I used the Christmas Friends, so now I've used all 4 of the animals, which is great. Bundle. And I used the Humble Home stamp set for the Merry Christmas that's right here on the bottom, and I used the Nested Essentials dies for the rectangles. Alright, so what we need for this is a piece of old olive that is 6.5 by 5.5, some basic white for stamping. I cut these 2 rectangles from this one obviously out of basic white, and this one from the Take a Bow DSP, and I used the Nested Essentials dies. The rectangle measures 1.5 by 2 1/8. And we're going to use this as our background, and this, as I already used 1/2, we're going to stamp our sentiment on the bottom and then cut it off. Alright, I'm using some more of the Take a Bow DSP. This one is a little bit more unusual because of the size of this rectangle. I made the piece that goes on the top a little bit different. So one piece that is 1 5/8 by 2 1/4, it's just a little bit longer the long way so that it makes up for the rectangle, and then one that is 1.5 by 2 1/4, 2 that are 3/4 by 2 1/4, and 2 that are 1.5 by 3/4, and that will all be on my blog. All right, that's my host code. Please put that in for any purchases under $150, not including your shipping and tax. And please subscribe and hit the like button. That helps my channel. And I appreciate all of you that always watch my videos so much. Thank you so much. And those who comment, I appreciate it. You make my day. Okay, so we're going to start on the 6.5 inch side. Score at 1, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, and 5.5. Turn it to the 5.5 inch side and score at 1/2, 1.5, 4, and 5. Okay, now just fold and burnish your score lines. Alright, now as long as you have this the long way this way, you can have it either way. Alright, and the 1/2 inch rectangles are on the top and the bottom. And this is what we're going to be doing. Alright, so we'll start over here. We're going to go to the second score line and cut it to the second score line and take all 4 of these off. Go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle and wedge the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle and wedge the square. That's one side. Now we're going to turn it to the other side, and there is a 1/2 inch rectangle at the bottom. And we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle, and wedge both sides of the square. Okay, go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the second score line. Take off the bottom rectangle and wedge the square. Okay, now we're going to take these 4 off. Okay, and then these 2 1/2-inch rectangles on either side. We're just going to wedge a little bit off of each side. All right, and that's what your cardstock should look like when you're done. All right, now I'm going to turn it this way so that these flaps are over here. And I'm going to put glue on these end flaps. And I'm going to take the score line above the tab and match it with the side of the rectangle. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. All right, and that's your box. All right, now we're going to put our DSP on. We need the one that is 1 5/8 by 2 1/4. It's a tiny bit longer. It's a tiny bit wider. We're going to put that on the front because it helps us, because of the score lines on the side, make it kind of thin. So I'm going to put that right up here so that when we put this over it, you still see a bunch of DSP. Okay, and then this one that is 1 1/2 by 2 1/4 goes on the bottom, or if you don't like it on the bottom, you could put it on the inside. And then the long sides and the short sides. All right, and for the closure, I'm going to put a 3/8 inch adhesive Velcro dot right in the middle. You could put one on each side if you want to, but I'm just going to put one on the middle. The other one on top, upside down, and then just close it nicely. Make sure it's even. And there we go. So that's our closure. All right, now we're going to do some stamping. And we need our piece of basic white. So what we're going to be doing from the Christmas Friends is the mouse with Tuxedo Black Ink. All right. And then we need real red ink and the 1/2 of the basic white rectangle. And I'm using the sentiment from Humble Home, Merry Christmas. I'm going to try to get that pretty low. Great. All right. And then I'm just going to cut this straight across. Get it as straight as I can. I think I got a little bit crooked. There we go. All right, and then we're going to take the DSP rectangle and I'm going to glue this right onto the bottom. This way you don't have to emboss it to make it show or something, and it might be too busy with the dots, so I figured I would do this. All right, now let me cut that out. Okay, now we're going to do some coloring. I'm using light and dark smoky slate, dark real red, dark old olive, dark daffodil delight, and dark bubble bath. All right, and then I'm going to, with the bubble bath, I'm going to put little cheeks and the nose. And we will go over them with the light smoky slate, but let's start with the dark smoky slate, and I'm going to go and put that wherever the artist gave us shadow. All right, and then I'm going to finish it up with light smoky slate. I'm not going to go over the nose, but I'm going to go over the cheeks because we just want a little bit of blush. And then everything but this book here. Oops, I forgot a little bit right on the arm here. All right. And then with the dark old olive, I'm going to do the cover of the book. I'm just going to do the pages too since they're so small. Alright. With Dark Daffodil Delight, I'm going to do the bell. And with Dark Real Red, I'm going to do the bow. And that's it. Okay, now we're going to attach this to our rectangle with dimensionals and pieces of dimensionals. First, I'm just going to cut for that bell area and the tail area. I'll cut some sides, and then I'll put 2 more dimensionals, one up top and one towards the bottom. Alright, and don't put that on first because I forgot. I'm going to use some of the red and white baker's twine, and I'm going to wrap it around right where that piece of basic white starts. I'm going to wrap it around twice, and I'm going to tie a bow over here on the left. Alright, now we'll put our mouse on there, and his toes are kind of going to go over that a little bit, and the bell is going to hang off a little on the right. Okay, now we need our box, and we're just going to attach it to the box. Okay, and for the final touch, I'm going to use some of the Iridescent Faceted gems. And I'm going to use small ones. And I'm going to put one right there, one next to the Mary, and one above the mouse's head. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. All my info is below. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.